You are now in tune with
Mamba Radio.
All right, what up, everybody? Thank you for tuning into Brown Mamba Radio. For those out there who don't know, my name is Jackson, and happy Aloha Friday to all you guys out there. Happy Rusev Day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed your week. We made it. It's finally Friday. Weekend's finally here. And also, I can't believe this got past me. I don't know how I didn't see this, but also happy Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. I am half Filipino Japanese, so big up to all my brown brothers and sisters out there from the Pacific Ocean, whether you're from Hawaii, like my dad is, or you're from, any other parts of Polynesia, Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, wherever, or even like the Philippines, Japan, all that other, you know what I mean? Big ups to all you guys, and it's cool that they gave us a month too. But yeah, a lot to get to this week, or from this past week. I got to talk about, the NBA playoffs. The conference finals are finally set. A little bit more sports talk, little Dodgers, little Angels, you know what I mean? Then we get to whatever happened in the sports news. And also, just prefacing this, I should have done this in the last time I did something like this. When I do the news stuff, I'm not breaking any news here. If I somehow happen to get a tip or I'm breaking something, I will let you guys know. But like I said, I'm not breaking any news or anything. I'm just curating all the news that I find, interesting or stuff that I find cool or whatever. And, hopefully you do too. I'm assuming if I find it interesting, you do too if you're listening along. So like, I'm going to get to some sports news and then some other news from around the world of not related to sports. But yeah, like I said, a lot to get to, a lot to get to. So let's start things off with the NBA playoffs. Again, the conference finals are finally set. Starting in the East, quickly going through the games that got us there. It's official. Toronto is now officially LeBronto. He's definitely got their number. The Raptors just don't know what to do, man. They don't know how to stop them. The Cavs swept the Raptors for the second season in a row to advance to the next round. And I believe this is the third season in a row that the Cavs have eliminated the Raptors. It's tough, man. It's a lot of people want to compare LeBron to MJ. That's not what I'm gonna do here. But all I gotta say is it's this what LeBron is doing to the East right now is similar to what MJ did to the East when he was playing there. I mean, 7 years in a row. Looking to make it 8 years in a row. A LeBron team is going to go to the finals, or has gone to the finals, excuse me. And, MJ did the same thing too. There was a lot of great players who didn't get to see a whole lot of playoff success because of Michael Jordan. And, like I said, same thing's happening right about now in the East. And, most notably with the Raptors. But it's tough, man. It's really tough for the Raptors. Initially I wrote down what do they do going forward. I asked this in the last episode. What do they? I just not sure what they do. Do they just run it back again? They've essentially had the same team for about 3 years now, with it's the same core guys. With a couple rotating cast members here and there. But I mean, really, can they just run it back again? And like I said, that was my initial notes, and I'm not sure what they do. I don't know, they obviously need to somehow find a LeBron stopper. But this morning, another Woj bomb came down, excuse me, and according to Woj, the Raptors are going to fire Dwayne Casey. Like I said, I mentioned in the last episode, I'm not sure that solves the problem. And I'm not sure that he was the problem, especially since, every season that he's been there, they've gotten better each year. Dwayne Casey's a good coach. It's tough that, that he has to go up against a guy like LeBron. all the time. But it's tough, man. Listen, Dwayne Casey is a good coach. He's gonna land on his feet. He's gonna find a job somewhere because he's obviously a good coach. You know what I mean? He single-handedly helped bring back the Raptors. As much as DeMar DeRozan has been great. Kyle Lowry's been great for the whole We the North thing and all that stuff. Dwayne Casey's been just as good getting those guys in the right positions and putting them in a like I said in a position to succeed. But yeah, it's tough, man. It's really tough. It's like I said, whenever a situation happens like this where you're not sure what to do going forward, usually the coach is the one who falls on the axe. And like I said, this case is no different. Like I said, Dwayne Casey's gonna find another job. I've seen some people talk about maybe the Pistons, wherever else he'll go. He like I said, he's a good coach. He'll be fine. But the Raptors, on the other hand, like I said, the golden rule, I always say, when it comes to like I said, not even me, but just it's the golden rule when it comes to anytime you're gonna make a change, like especially with coach, if you're gonna let somebody go, you better make sure that the person you bring in is better, or else why did you even make the change? So, like I said, they're gonna be fine. Dwayne Casey's gonna be fine. Raptors, I'm not sure. It's just gonna depend on who they bring in. I don't know who they're gonna get. I haven't heard anything yet. Like I said, we'll find out soon. But back to the Cavs. They've had a little bit of time to chill. They don't have to play again until Sunday. They've been off since about Tuesday, I believe. Like I said, they're gonna get to chill a little bit. LeBron's gonna get some rest. Hopefully, he's just in those cryo chambers or one of those hyperbaric chambers or something the whole time, just chilling on ice like Han Solo until he can get ready for the game. And also, like I said, they're gonna use this time obviously to get rest, but hopefully, the supporting cast can they can take this time and whether they get together as a group or individually, they just figure out what they got to do to help LeBron. They've been stepping up a little bit in the past couple games, or especially this past series. But it's mainly like the older guys, like Tristan Thompson, J.R. Smith, Kyle Korver, even Jose Calderon and stuff like that. But they need to get some help from the other guys, the guys that they brought in to essentially help LeBron get to this far. Jordan Clarkson, you guys know I love Jordan Clarkson. Larry Nance, again, same guy I love, former Lakers. George Hill, Rodney Hood. These guys need to figure some stuff out. So, that's like I said. They're like I said. It's gonna be a tough matchup for the Celtics, who are moving on. I might as well get to it before I get to the matchups. So the Sixers and the Celtics finished up as well. On Monday, the Sixers forced a Game 5. Like I said, thanks to some questionable officiating. Scott Foster at it again. You know what I mean? Anytime there's a questionable game going on as far as the officiating goes, look to see who the lead referee is. I don't know. Chances are it's going to be Scott Foster. So, like I said, and Scott Foster never ceases to amaze. But ultimately, it was all for naught. The Celtics won in a thrilling, is the best way to say it, Game 5 to take the series. The Celtics built a big lead. The Sixers at home, or excuse me, on the road, came back. Fought hard, had a lead. They actually had a lead with about a minute and a half left or so left in the game. But just, again, they just, couldn't get it together at the last minute, literally in the last minute. And they found themselves an early exit. But, hey, listen, kudos to the Sixers, man. Trust in the process and having a fucking great season. Everyone thought that they were going to underachieve. I believe that Vegas had them at like 43 games, or 42 and a half was over under, something like that. A ton of people went with the under. People weren't sure if they knew that they were going to be okay, and they knew they were going to be fun, but I don't think they thought they were going to be this good. No one really thought that. But they trusted the process, and they look like they're going to be pretty good for a while. Like I said, they got some stuff to work on. We all know that, Embiid's gonna be fine. He's gonna get better. He's gonna get in better shape. The more time he plays, as long as he stays healthy and he can be able to handle the brunt of a full season. He'll be fine. Ben Simmons obviously needs to work on a shot. We all know that, but like I said, that'll come with time. He's still a rookie, air quotes, but he's still a rookie. He's gonna be all right. And the rest of the guys, Sarge looks great. He's gonna be a good guy to have around, whether he starts, comes off the bench. Like I say, he might not always start, but he should definitely finish games. And then they just got a good blend of other veterans like JJ Redick, Covington, Bellinelli. Like I said, if they can keep those guys or find some other guys like that, they should, like I said, they'll be fine going forward. They should be fine. If they can get maybe some little bit better coaching too, I don't know, maybe Dwayne Casey, who knows? I don't know. But and then if they can figure out the Fultz thing, again, like I said, the number 1 overall pick didn't even play for a lot of different reasons. Didn't play at all in the playoffs. But like I said, if they can figure that stuff out too, like I said, they should be pretty good going forward. But just the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway from this as far as the Sixers go, like I said, they looked a little bit caught up in the moment for most of the series. I know that they came back tough in the end of Game 5, but, like I said, they definitely look their age as far as literally and playoff experience goes. So, like I said, they're gonna get better. They're gonna get better. It comes with time. They'll be all right going forward. Like I said, and like I said, it's to be expected from a young team, like the Sixers were. But yeah, like I said, tips of the cap. Great season for those guys. They trusted the process, and it looks like it's about to pay off pretty well. And but speaking of young teams. The Celtics, they're not the over the hill gang themselves. They're just as young and just as talented as the Sixers. Don't forget, but they have one big difference that separates them from the Sixers, and that's that they have a Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens, man, he needs to be Coach of the Year, and also, for those of you who don't know, so the official NBA awards aren't out yet, but they have they have the little they have a players union, they have a coaches union or a group, whatever, and they have their own little individual votes, and different entities have their own little votes. And so the coaches got together and did their votes for Coach of the Year. All of them voted for Dwayne Casey. Not a single person voted for Brad Stevens. Not a single one. Now, listen, Dwayne Casey deserved to win. He didn't deserve to be fired. That should say something. He was voted by his peers as Coach of the Year. And like I said, he deserves to win just as he deserves to win. Don't get me wrong. The Raptors are number 1 in the East this season. They're number 1 seed. I think it's the first time that they've done that in a long time, if not the first time ever. Like I said, Dwayne Casey deserved to win. But for no coaches or no other coaches to vote, at least one coach to vote for Brad Stevens or give any vote. I think they did first, second, any of that stuff. No one voted for Brad Stevens. That is an abomination, and that is next level pettiness as far as pettiness goes. Because we all know why. These coaches are just, they know. And that just shows you right there that they know that Brad Stevens is a damn good coach. And, he's showing it right now. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's amazing what he's doing, getting these young players as ready as they are, as coached up as they are to play as well as they're playing. And like I said, he doesn't even have his 2 best players. It just blows my mind. You know what I mean? It never ceases to amaze me in a good way. As far as his ability to just be a great coach. And the whole time you watch him on the sideline, he doesn't, whether they're winning, whether they're losing, he looks exactly the same. He has the exact same demeanor. And that's what you want from a leader. That's what you want from your coach. You want everything to be, even keel. You know what I mean? No highs, no lows, not right down the middle, just to keep everything real zen-like and real under control. And that's how they feel. They look under control. They look like they know what they're doing. They don't just look like they know what they're doing. They actually do know what they're doing. As good as the coach has been in Brad Stevens, the players got to go out there and make the plays, and they are definitely doing that. Like I said, it's so impressive what these young guys are doing. Yeah, as far as Tatum, he's got like 20 something points the whole time. More than 20 points in most of these games. Rozier obviously was a star of the first series. Al Horford playing well with the young guys. Jaylen Brown playing well. I know he had the little hamstring thing. Hopefully, like I said, this time off can help him, get a little bit healthier. They can do some more, some stretching, some interventions to help loosen that thing up. And like I said, I'm gonna go through the stats right now. Yeah, Jason Tatum averaging 23 points. 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Terry Rozier, 19 points, 7 boards. Jaylen Brown, 15 points, 5 assists. These guys are just playing their asses off, man. They're playing so well right now. And then again, like I said, Al Horford just anchoring it down the whole time as the savvy veteran, doing everything well, doing everything, all the little things well. And yeah, it's just big rematch from last year's Eastern Conference Finals. It's obviously a very different matchup considering the players involved and stuff. Some people are saying it's like a David and Goliath situation. I personally don't really agree with that. But I see why they're saying it. David is in the young Celtics and Goliath as LeBron, this behemoth who's just ran rampant through the Eastern Conference. If they had Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving, obviously things would be a lot different, but I think that they'd be the unanimous favorites. But without them and with LeBron playing the way he's playing, it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be really, really tough. I like to have a lot of questions going into these things. Same thing I'll do with the next matchup. The big thing is can the Celtics stop LeBron? It's going to be tough. They're probably going to start Tatum on him, I'm assuming. Not 100% sure, but they have a bunch of guys that they can just throw at him. They can give him a whole bunch of different looks. They can throw in the rotation. They can probably throw Tatum at him. They can throw Brown on him anytime they want. They can put Marcus Smart on him, Marcus Morris. They got, like I said, they can do a bunch of stuff. They can do a bunch of stuff to try and stop LeBron. But it's a lot easier said than done. Trust me. And then on the other side, can the Cavs supporting cast, can they stay helpful? That's the big thing. That's the big thing is can the supporting cast stay helpful for LeBron, both on offense and defense? And then with the defense side of things, the Cavs defense has been so bad throughout most of the season, and the Celtics offense has been hot. These young guys have been scoring, like I mentioned before, 20 points a game from Tatum and almost 20 points a game from Rozier. And these guys have been getting hot. At any time, these guys they've shown that they can get hot and go off for about 20-30 points. And so it's can the Cavs, the other guys, because mainly LeBron's probably not going to be guarding, Rozier or Brown. He can only guard one guy at a time. So it's can the Cavs other guys stop, Tatum, Rozier, Brown, Horford, can they stop those guys? That's the big question. I don't know. And it's not like they've been playing whatever defense, the Cavs have, but it's just more that their offense has been killing it. When their threes are going, when LeBron's going, like I said, their best defense has been their offense. And so, like I said, can they actually play some defense? And like I said, we'll have to just wait and see. And the big matchup that I'm saying that everyone should watch, or the one that I think will ultimately help decide the series, is Horford and Thompson. Can Tristan Thompson anchor down and contain Al Horford? He's been doing a great job. He did really well against Al Horford did really well against Joel Embiid. He did really well against the Bucks. They didn't really have anybody to put on him. And it's the thing is because Tristan Thompson is for all the shit he's gotten all season long, he's been playing pretty well. And especially in the last round, and he's stepped up. He's doing all the little things that he's there to do. Set screens, get rebounds. Disrupt the rim. Maybe it doesn't always show up in the stat book, but he's doing it. And this is gonna be his toughest task is Al Horford, and hopefully he can try to stay out of foul trouble because Al Horford is a damn a damn whiz down there with the ball, you know what I mean, down in the post. He's got a bunch of moves. He's crafty. He's strong. He can pull you out and face up, or he can back you down low, all that stuff, you know. So, you know, like I said, it's going to be a tough matchup. That's going to be the biggest one to watch, in my opinion. Because whether the Cavs have Tristan Thompson on the floor or not really changes the way they do things. So, like I said, I have to wait and see about that. That's how the East is going to shape up. Now moving on to the West, we're finally going to get the matchup that we've all been waiting for. But before I get to that, again, I got to talk about the teams that have fallen. Jazz Rockets had potential to be a really, really close and really, really fun. I mean, not saying it wasn't fun, but it was a really close, and you know, it's always more fun when it gets down to like a Game 7 type situation. The Jazz Rockets was really good, but the Rockets ultimately were just too good and came out on top. But again, similar, both. And the same thing with the Pelicans. You know, it looked like they were going to... We all knew that the Warriors and the Rockets were going to win. We all knew that. But it looked like they could have, you know, maybe taken them a little bit deeper than we thought. Pause. But they both of these teams have the similar situations going on. You know, the Pelicans and the Jazz, they look like they're going to be fine for a while. Pelicans, we all know that AD is going to be great. You know, same thing with the Jazz. You know, Donovan Mitchell, man, what a fucking playoff series, dude. What a showing out party for Mitchell. And you know, I know he went down a little bit at the end, and hopefully whatever happened to him and his knee isn't too serious. I haven't heard any news or anything yet. But you know, like I said, Donovan Mitchell, he looks like he's going to be around for a long time. He looks like he's going to be good for a while. You know, both teams have their building blocks to build around. Obviously, with AD, the Pelicans have had AD, but the Jazz look like they got their guy, Donovan Mitchell. Both teams, you know, they got a little bit of work to do on the roster to help, you know, support their stars. You know, the Pelicans found a diamond in the rough with Rajon Rondo, but who knows how much longer he's got in his career. Drew Holiday played really well. Mirotic did really well. Same thing over with the Jazz. You know, Joe Ingles is playing great. Rudy Gobert, they've got their defensive anchor for hopefully as long as he can stay healthy and be productive. They got their defensive anchor down there for a while. You know, who knows if they're going to keep Jay Crowder, you know what I mean? And you know, like I said, they got some work to do. They got pieces in place, but like I said, they still have some work to do. But the biggest question is coming from the Pelicans, and what do they do with Boogie? That's another question for another time. I just wanted to put that out there. I personally don't know right now. I'm very, very biased because I love Boogie. I know a lot of people don't. I love Boogie. Boogie's one of my favorite players, if not my favorite player right now. It was tough to see him go down like that, but ultimately, you know, him going down forced the Pelicans to have to move. You know, AD to more of like a center position, like playing the 5 more, and that ultimately got them in the situation they did. So, like I said, we're gonna have to wait and see what they do. I don't know personally, but it's an interesting question to see. People are gonna have a lot of hot takes over the summer. Trust me, there's gonna be a lot of hot takes on what they do with Boogie. Like I said, just put it out there. If you know, just like I said, it's out there. If you think you know what you're gonna do, let me know. I'm not 100% sure, but you know, like I said, it's gonna be a difficult situation with that. But yeah, now on to the task at hand. Rockets Warriors, baby. It's just like Ollie Foreman, Hagler and Hearns, Hogan Warrior, Rock Austin. It's just this big time matchup between two juggernauts in the West that we all knew was coming down the chute. You know what I mean? We all knew that eventually Hogan and Warrior were going to cross paths. We all knew that The Rock and Austin had to cross paths. We all knew, you know, Muhammad Ali and George Foreman had to cross paths. We all knew these guys had to cross paths, and this is it. So, you know, the biggest thing for me, again, I always have questions. You know, like I said, I'm not going to give analysis, but I just got questions to put out there. Just, you know, kind of let it swirl, and if you have any answers, let me know. But, you know, with I'm trying to figure out the matchups mainly. You know, because the Rockets, you know, are they going to go with? So the Rockets are probably more than likely going to go with Chris, you know, CP3, James Harden, PJ Tucker, Trevor Ariza, you know, just kind of flip flopping between who plays the 3, who plays the 4, and Capella. But the Warriors, do they start off right away with the death lineup? Steph, Clay, KD, Iguodala, same thing. They just kind of rotate between both of them, and Draymond. You know, it's tough. It's tough, man. That's fun. It's tough for those guys out there, but it's fun for us to watch as fans. Obviously Steph and CP3 are gonna be on each other. Clay and James Harden are most likely going to be on each other most of the time. But then, the big thing I have is who guards KD. Do they throw PJ Tucker on him, who's, between him and Ariza, who are both two tremendous defenders, specifically on the perimeter. Tucker's more of the stronger guy who can get down and bang, and he's not afraid to, to get big and get tough and all that stuff. But, he's obviously given up a little bit of a height advantage. Trevor Ariza's a lot taller, more built like Kevin Durant. But I say it's like who guards him. Obviously, they can switch and play both. Play both those guys on them at different times. Like I said, giving them different looks. But it's like I said, it's going to be interesting to see. And like I said, who guards KD is obviously an easier question asked than done. But it's going to be tough. But again, and then like I said, in the last one, I have the one big matchup. But it's not really necessarily a matchup in this situation, but a big question that I have, is it centers around Clint Capella, no pun intended as far as it centers around, but it centers around Clint Capella, and it kind of goes both ways. It's like it's on a scale. It's do the Warriors go big? To account for Clint Capella, because he's been playing great this postseason. He's been playing really, really great, and I know it's probably because it's a byproduct of being on the Rockets and having guys like Chris Paul and James Harden, who are so talented in the pick and roll, as well as having an offensive genius, quote unquote, as Mike D'Antoni is his coach. But Clint Capella's been playing great basketball, not just on offense but on defense as well, holding it down in the paint. And so, nothing against Draymond Green, but again, he's just giving up a big height advantage. And I know he's tough. I know he's got the long arms, and he's not afraid to go down and mix it up in the trees. But it's tough, especially because, like I said, Clint Capella's been playing so well. And so, do the Warriors go bigger and sacrifice the death lineup, in order to put a bigger guy in, maybe like Kevon Looney or JaVale McGee, you know what I mean, Tragic Bronson? Do they do that, or on the flip side, do the Rockets go a little smaller to account for the death lineup? Do you get what I'm? Hopefully, you guys understand what I'm kind of saying, because it's like, obviously it's situational. I get that. I know that, and it all depends on what's going on, like foul trouble, slumps, who's hot, who's not, and all. I get all that stuff. But you know what I'm saying, right? It's like, because the Rockets are at their best when they have Capella on the floor, and that makes them obviously a bigger team. But then also, the Warriors' best lineup is when they're a little bit smaller, when they have, the death lineup in there. And like I said, it depends. If the death lineup is rocking and they're hot and they're scoring all the time, maybe they take Capella out and they got to put Eric Gordon in and to get some more scoring going off the bench and stuff like that. And then again, also if maybe they, for whatever reason, KD or Draymond can't stop Clint Capella in the pick and roll or anything like that, maybe they got to go big and put a bigger guy down there, or someone like two quote unquote disposable guys as far as fouls go. Just get a body out there, like let JaVale McGee throw a body on him and make him earn those points from the free throw line, stuff like that. So like I said, a lot of different situations, and it's just good questions to have and good questions to ask, and it all makes for a great series eventually. So and even just the matchups, not just the teams, but just all the other stuff that's going on. Harden versus KD. There's always that little backstory. It's CP3's first Western Conference Finals, obviously. How does he respond to all this? Steve Kerr versus Mike D'Antoni, two guys who've gone at it in the past before. So like I said, it's going to be a great series. I can't wait. I honestly don't know. Gun to my head, I'm going Warriors just because that they're playing so well right now. And like I said, the Rockets are playing just as well, but it's tough. And the Rockets do have home court advantage. Don't forget that. So that's always a big thing. So we'll have to see. This is like I said, one of the most interesting matchups we've seen in a long, long time. one of the best matchups for sure. And like I said, I just can't wait. And it sucks that it sucks that we got to wait till Monday for this. But like I said, hey, listen, it's going to be fun, and it definitely won't disappoint us. So like I said, that's the way that the NBA playoffs are shaping up. Moving on to the Diamond quickly, it's not much to say here. Starting with I'll start with the good news, I guess. No, I'll start with the bad news, and then I'll end on the gooder stuff. But the Dodgers, man, they're just not playing well, man, and it's very, very frustrating. I don't know what the hell is going on. Like I said, they're 16-21, 8 games back, from the Diamondbacks, who are the leading guy, the goddamn Diamondbacks. They're 4-6 in their last 10, and like I said, they just don't look good when they're playing. They split the series with the Diamondbacks, which is great. Like I said, that always helps. But the series before, when they were in Mexico, they just did not look good. They like I said, it's just as you can tell, I'm obviously frustrated. They just don't look good. And I don't know what's going on. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I can't figure it out, man. I really can't. They're just not connecting right now. They're not in sync. And that's the main thing. But like I said, that's an easy thing to say. They're obviously not in sync. Walker Buehler threw another fucking gem last night. And then just couldn't get any help. And it seems like whenever the pitching does well, the bats aren't there, and then vice versa. When the bats are there, the pitching isn't doing their job either and stuff. So it's just tough. It's really tough. I know hopefully this is the lowest of the low as it gets. And like I said, they can only go up from here. They're literally can only go up from here. They're at the bottom of the West, the NL West. Yeah, I don't know. They just got to figure it out. Got to figure it out. It's the only way I can say it. Same thing but moving down to the Angels, they're rolling, baby. It's the complete opposite. They are playing very well. They split the series with the Rockies, which is good. Rockies were tough, they're starting off a pretty good note with the Twins. Shohei Ohtani looking great again, had another home run. I know he's been a little sparingly playing, just got a little injury things going on or whatever, little nagging stuff, but not a big deal. But everyone else is playing great on the Angels. They're tied at the top, I believe, of the AL West. Yeah, yes. Technically, they're at the top because their winning percentage is better, but they're tied with the Astros right now, and I know that they got that series with the Twins right now, but next week is the big week to watch. That's big. It's Angels Astros. That's huge for the AL West. It's not just huge for the AL West, and it's a little early, I know, but it's huge implications for the playoffs down the road, especially because it looks like in the West, obviously it's going to be, the Angels or the Astros are going to win the West, and either of those teams are going to, whichever of those two teams doesn't win the West is going to make the wild card. And which a little allusion to what I'm going to talk to next. It's the same kind of situation for the Yankees and the Red Sox in the East. It's so, like I said, it's big implications. It's like they want to win their division because the other teams, the Yankees and the Red Sox in the East, one of those teams is probably going to be the other wild card team, and that's going to be a tough matchup. So, but yeah, the Angels are playing great. Mike Trout's still great. Calhoun's great. Simmons playing well. All these guys are playing well. Upton's hitting well. Like I said. So, I said in the last episode, the Angels look like they're for real, man. They look like they're pretty damn for real. They're playing really well, and like I said, it's. I wish the Dodgers were playing well, but hey, listen, anytime a local team's doing well, it's good for the city. So, yeah, shout out to the Angels for that, and yeah, that's it for like the regular stuff. Like I said, I'm going on the sports news, and again, I'm not breaking any news here, just curating all this stuff. And like I said, hopefully you find it just as interesting as I do. That's why I'm talking about it. But I alluded to it before. I mentioned it. Red Sox Yankees rivalry is back, baby. What a series they just had! Holy shit! Both teams are going at it. It was great, and it ultimately ended with them both being tied, like completely tied for the AL East right now. Yankees and Red Sox both are at 26-11. I believe that with the Red Sox win last night, that snapped the Yankees like 6 or 7 game win streak. So, like I said, it's just a lot going on. It's people say what they want about the Yankees and the Red Sox always being on TV and all blah blah blah. And like I said, I know that they've been on TV a lot, obviously because of their name. But like in recent years, they haven't really deserved it because they haven't been as good. But damn, man, when the Yankees and the Red Sox are good, baseball's fun, man. That's what's up. That's what it's all about right there. And it was great to see. It was great, just fun to see, because it's great when they, like I said, they got the big names. They got big name coaches, or not big name coaches, but just coaches, familiar name coaches in Aaron Boone and Alex Cora. They got, all these big names, Judge, Stanton, Mookie Betts, freaking looking like the AL MVP right now. And just all these guys that are just going at it, you know what I mean? And it's, it's just fun. It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch, It just really brings back the spirit of the series that they've had for, going back to the early 1900s and all that stuff, you know what I mean? Back in the day, with all the old baseball heads, you know what I mean? So, it was a fun series. I can't wait for the next one. Like I said, it's great. And keeping it to the diamond, second no-hitter thrown of the year, thrown by Paxton from the Seattle Mariners. It was great, man. It was good to see because the Big Maple was dealing, man. Absolutely dealing. Like in the 9th inning, still throwing like 98, 99 on the gun. Incredible. Freaking incredible. So, that got to shout that out. And then, like I said, it's sport. This is a little sports news adjacent, but it's related. Some news from sports Twitter. Specifically NBA Twitter. Shout out to Worldwide Wob, first of all for being Worldwide Wob, and just if you're not familiar, he's just one of this freaking insanely funny and insightful guy on NBA Twitter who he's funny, but he's smart. He has great NBA takes. He does late nights with Wob. He does the periscopes. He has the live streams. He does stuff with Cycle and ESPN, and he's great. Like I said, it's cool when all these different little Twitter communities like NBA Twitter or whatever and stuff like that. It's cool, especially when you've been following it for a while and you've been whether or not you're one of the main figures of it, but if you're a part of it, you're a part of it. No matter what role you play. And someone who's been a part of NBA Twitter for a little while and following a lot of these guys from the get-go, seeing Wob when he didn't even have a K on his Twitter followers and all that stuff, and he didn't really have a following. It was cool to see him make it. So like I said, shout outs to Wob first and foremost. But Worldwide Wob, during his most recent Periscope, on Twitter, he was recapping his preview. He wanted to preview the conference finals matchups, and then Jeannie Buss of all people dropped in. I've been watching a lot of like a lot of his live streams recently. I'll be honest, but like I said, so I don't know if this is a new thing or not. But like Jeannie Buss dropped in. They seemed like they were friendly before, and then it's happened before, so I get it. But ultimately, Jeannie Buss, yes, the Jeannie Buss from the LA Lakers, asked him to be his date or to be her date to the NBA awards. And it was kind of like, what? It was kind of like, what the hell is going on as you're watching it? And, it's kind of like, is this a joke? I never thought she got hacked. And she's like, no, I'm serious. And then so Wob obviously said yes. And just the level of, adorbs and cuteness ensued. Wob was all flustered, getting red and embarrassed, couldn't even like focus or anything. And he was like, what was talking about? He got all flustered and obvious reasons, because it's fucking Jeannie Buss, who was looking like, as respectful as I could say, she was looking like a damn snack. It still looks like a damn snack. And then so they went through the whole thing, and he's like, "No, I'm gonna treat it like a prom, with a corsage and a tux and all this stuff, blah blah blah." And then so Jeannie was like, "All right," and she said, "So they said all right, let's talk about it later, blah blah blah." And he's like, "Okay," and then he's like, "I'll text you or something, right?" So I was like, "Damn, okay, Wob, my bad, I see you." And then Jeannie Buss responded, "Well, why don't you just FaceTime me, kind of thing." She's like, "I mean, why don't you step your game up?" So they ended up FaceTiming, and shit. So then, like I said, that was when, like I said, Jeannie was still looking like a damn snack. Shout out to Jeannie Bus. And like I said, they just talked it out, kind of like I said, just do a little flirting, whatever kind of stuff. And it's it looks like it's it's a legit thing. So Wob, big up to Wob for shooting this shot from way downtown, and unless she's trolling or she was hacked, which I don't think happened, it looks like Wob's gonna score on this one. So like I said, big up to Wob, big up to World Wide Wob, big up to Jeannie Bus on all this, man. Like I said, it was fun. It was fun to see. It was entertaining, and like I said, don't tell me for fans out there who know about World Wide Wob and all that. Tell me that wouldn't be hilarious to see World Wide Wob, as Jeannie Bus's arm candy on the red carpet at the NBA Awards. So like I said, I'm definitely gonna. If I wasn't tuning in before, I'm definitely tuning in now. So like I said, big up to Wob, big up to Jeannie, and like I said, I'm definitely inspired to shoot my damn shot this weekend. So thank you, Wob, for giving me the confidence that I needed to shoot my damn shot. So that was the sports news. I'm gonna try to quickly run through the regular news ish. When I do this this radio show, podcast thing, whatever you want to call it, I mainly keep it to sports. I mainly keep it light. I keep it fun and all that stuff. But like I said, going on a little serious note here, not serious, but just on a less fun note here. I'm not saying that my platform is growing or getting big or anything like that, because it's not yet. I hope it can. And I just feel like I can just use this for a lot more than just sports. So that's why I'm gonna try to incorporate more other sports and pop culture things. So like I said, and listen, so my next couple of topics are definitely not the most fun things to talk about. And I am by no means whatsoever, a political expert. I took, political science when I was in college, and I was like, man, fuck this shit. This shit is fucking whack. I cannot stand this shit. So, stuff. So, like I said, I'm by no means any, political expert or anything like that. But I, like the rest of, the world and stuff like that, I have an opinion. I watch the news. I try not to just watch the news. I try to read stuff. I don't just read the headlines. I try to read, actually read. I've been doing a little bit more. I'm trying to, I read not just LA Times, but I'll try to read the Washington Post, New York Times, Wall Street Journal. I try to do as much as I can. I try to educate myself as much as I can, because at the end of the day, with a lot of this, like I always say, knowledge is power, and why would you not want to know something? So I'm trying to learn more about our government, about our political issues, and all that stuff. Because as I get older, myself and my peers and my friends and more people around, like me, we're eventually going to be the ones that, eventually are going to ultimately decide what happens in this country, our parents, we're eventually going to become the parents. We are the adults now. We're going to become the adults and all that stuff. And I'm trying to educate myself more, learn more, and get to know these things better. So that way, what happened 2 years ago hopefully won't happen again. And we can learn from our mistakes. We can learn from the stuff that happened, And Jake Tapper has a good quote that I heard him say in the podcast with Larry Wilmore. He said, people say history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. And, trying to avoid more rhymes from happening. So, I'm trying to educate myself, and from all the stuff that I've seen and all the stuff that I've read and all the stuff that I've heard, it sounds like us pulling out from this Iran deal was not a smart thing to do. It's, like I said, I had to do a lot of, I've heard about it, all that stuff, and I like I said, I'm not going to act like I know all the details of this stuff, but like I said, just quickly trying to break it down for dummies like me. the Obama administration set in plan a plan to this Iran deal with I think it's called like the Big Five plus one. It's us, China, France, Germany, Russia, or it's like us, China, France, the UK, Russia, and plus Germany and like some other countries or whatever. We got together, created this deal where the Iran deal, where essentially what they did was they're putting like a restriction on Iran working with uranium to help build like these nuclear bombs, and they're doing these things where it's like the trade-off is, it's like Iran has to stop doing, or has to limit what they do with working with uranium, working with other like volatile chemicals and stuff like that for making like nuclear bombs. And we have these ways of policing it and checking on it and all that stuff, keeping them in check, keeping them in line and all that stuff. And in return, we ease off on some sanctions on Iran and like as far as other ways of policing them and stuff like that. So that's essentially how it worked. And Trump and the Trump administration just it took like almost 10 years to get this thing done, and they threw it all down the drain, all because Obama did this, and Trump's big MO for getting a vote was he's going to get rid of all the Obama stuff just because he's Obama. And so that he can have, a photo op holding the little folder there when he signs something. And I know that was a very crude way of explaining it, and I get that, but listen to Pod Save America, another great podcast. I've listened to a lot of those guys since, back when they were at the Ringer with Keeping It 1700 with John Favreau and those guys, and D. Ray McKennison and all that stuff, man. Those guys are great. But on the Pod Save America, the latest one from like Wednesday, I believe, they do a great job of explaining it. So, go there, go listen to that. If you want to hear a better explanation of it, go listen to their podcast. They explain the Iran deal in better detail than I do, and they also explain the possible repercussions from this a lot better than I do. And like I said, from what I understand, this wasn't the greatest thing in the world when it happened, but it got done, and it passed for a reason, because it felt like it wasn't the greatest, but it was the best option at the time. So they got it taken care of. And, like I said, and it had its naysayers from both sides, the left and the right. So don't think it's like a one-sided thing, but it just seems like that this will cause this can or will cause a serious rift in our foreign affairs and our foreign relations and our foreign policies and stuff. It might not directly affect us here in the U.S. on U.S. soil, but it'll just affect the way that we do deals, especially with for the next 2 and hopefully not more years. It'll just look like it looks like it's gonna affect the way that we interact with other countries. We're all the other countries were saying not to do it, but we did it anyway, obviously because it was a very stupid thing to do. Like, if they're gonna do it, if they're gonna pull out of it, at least have a good reason for it. But the reasons are fucking so stupid. The whole thing was to like, it's like we're afraid of Iran, because the whole case against it is like, sure, we have this thing in deal, but it's just a piece of paper. How do you know they won't just how do you know they just won't, we can't take their word for it? How do you know they won't just not abide by it? Well, it's been in place for the last 2 years, and for the last 2 years, everything seemed to go according to plan. People have testified in front of Congress, in front of court, and all this stuff that everything is going according to plan. They're not lying. And so the fear was, oh, what if they just go and start building bombs on their own? Well, we redacted this fucking deal. Now they can go do that, and now they can go work with all these nuclear chemicals whenever they want, as much as they want. So it's just so stupid. It's so ass backwards, and it just doesn't. It's just, like I said, the logic behind it is so stupid, and it's just dumb. It's another dumbass thing from the Trump administration, and it just seems like it's a possible distraction for all the stuff that's going on with Giuliani. It seems like it should be the other way around. They should be using the Giuliani stuff as a distraction for this Iran deal, but it seems like it's the other way around. Um, for those who aren't familiar with all the stuff that's going on with Rudy Giuliani and Trump, so we all know that there was the whole thing with Michael Cohen, how he got subpoenaed and investigation against him as far as because Michael Cohen used to be Trump's personal lawyer. But now Rudy Giuliani is Trump's new personal lawyer after this whole Cohen situation goes down. And so he's been working with him about getting all this stuff taken care of. And then, most people saw Giuliani went on Fox and Friends or went on with Sean Hannity and started spilling beans about all this stuff about the Stormy Daniels situation. And, saying that, the whole thing was that Michael Cohen did this on his own, out of pocket, to help pay for Stormy Daniels, which is very suspicious all in itself. But then he goes out and says that, actually, Michael Cohen, it wasn't campaign money, it was his own money, and Trump actually repaid him the money. And Sean Hannity was like, oh, really? I didn't know that. And he's like, oh, yep, that's what happened. Then he goes on Fox and Friends and he essentially he tries to redact it, but he can't because he just said it already, and so it caught everyone off guard. And everyone's like, it just helped prove what we already know, that Trump and all his cronies are lying about all this shit the whole time, and it's just and the saddest thing is all this is going on and we're just like, well, you know what, on to the next thing. So it's like, yeah, we all know that Trump had sex with a porn star while he was married and had an affair, and he did all this shit and paid them off and all this stuff. We all know that. Like I said, it's crazy, man. It's just fucking crazy. And it's Jimmy Kimmel articulated it best. Go listen to his monologue about it. Because I was thinking the same thing, but like I said, he just was able to articulate it way better than I could. I had the idea in my head, but he said the whole idea is that it seems like these guys are all as dumb as they are. They're also all very smart as far as like being crafty and conniving and stuff. So, like I said, he said it best where it seems like this is all planned out, kind of, where, like I said, eventually, so all the stuff he's saying is probably eventually going to come out as a part of this Cohen investigation, and that they know that this stuff is going to get out to the news eventually. So, like, might as well, who's the dopiest guy left? Let's go with Rudy Giuliani, who's been just a fucking, a wingnut for the last fucking 10 years. Let's get this dope to come out and say all this stuff, kind of catch everybody off guard, like, whoa, what the heck's going on? Like I said, because they know what's going to come out eventually, and let's get him to say it now, so that way when this evidence eventually comes out, following all the the process of it coming out, legally and all that stuff, when it eventually happens, they can say like, well, yeah, we already acknowledged this, that he didn't Rudy Giuliani and mentioned it and stuff. So, like I said, it's just fucking crazy, man. This shit is fucking crazy. And it just was, things didn't seem like they couldn't get any crazier. They always do. So it's I'm speechless at this point. I don't know, man. It's just fucking crazy. But like I said, and then similar to, last thing about all this stuff going on, there's the 3 North Korean hostages were freed. The Korean Americans that were held hostage in North Korea, they're free now, which is great news. Hopefully they're still healthy, and after all this stuff, they whatever went happening in North Korea, that they're, like I said, they can go back to living quote unquote normal lives and all that stuff. And like I said, so hopefully that happens down the line. But like I said, I'm still just a little skeptical about the circumstances surrounding it, considering Giuliani, again, in that whole interview, spilled more beans about this happening like a week ago. Everyone's like, what are you talking about? There's North Korean hostages that are going to be freed? And he's kind of like, oops, I said too much. And then it's like, what? This guy's supposed to just be Trump's personal lawyer. What's he doing knowing about these foreign affairs and knowing about all these different things? It's like, if there was an issue about getting security clearance for all these different other people with the Hillary Clinton's people, if there's other issues about security clearance for Jared Kushner and all this other stuff going on with him, what makes Giuliani any more qualified to know this stuff? You know, and what does he do? What does he know? He's just supposed to be Trump's personal lawyer. Why does he have to know all this stuff? You know, or what else does he know? And what else do other people know? It's just like I said, it's all skeptical and it's all shady and it's all just sketchy. You know, and especially with a weirdo, a fucking crazy ass motherfucker like Giuliani. But you know, listen, like I said, either way, it's a step in the right direction. Hopefully, with all this North Korea stuff going on. But like I said, I'm just still a little skeptical about this whole North Korea thing. It just seems like it's too good to be true at this point. Still, you know, they're gonna have that summit in Singapore with North Korea. I don't know what's going on. You know, I just hope for the best. That's all we can do is hope for the best. And like I said, we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, enough politics. I'm over it. Just quickly running through the rest of the stuff. You know, just want to send out all my, as much as I can. I hate saying thoughts and prayers, but I gotta send them all out to Hawaii, especially on the Big Island. You know, the Big Island's being rocked right now by these volcanic eruptions and these earthquakes with the lava everywhere and all that stuff. And, you know, a lot of homes are being destroyed. You know, I don't think there's any casualties yet. Hopefully it stays that way. But, you know, it's devastating what's happening on the Big Island right now. So, you know, like I said, thoughts and prayers out there. And you know, this just goes to show that, you know, Pele decides when she wants to, you know, when she wants to do what she wants to do. For those of you who aren't familiar, Pele is the, in Hawaiian, traditional Hawaiian, like theology or spirituality, Pele is the goddess of fire, and the goddess of the volcanoes. And Pele essentially created the Hawaiian Islands. So we all know Hawaiian Islands were created by volcanic rock and the volcanoes going off. That's why obviously with the volcano going off. But Pele, you know, created the Hawaiian Islands, and that's before Christianity hit the Hawaiian Islands. That they had a lot of like I said, like spiritual like theologies. So there's like Pele, and then most, like with Moana, there was like Maui, the whatever Maui god was, I forget. But like I said, there's all these different like gods and different similar to like, you know, Greek mythology and you know and you know, Roman mythology and all that stuff. So Pele decides, man. Pele decides. And you know, a lot of people are saying, why don't they do something? Why don't they try to stop it? And listen, you know, like I said, my dad is from Hawaii. He's from Oahu. He's not from Big Island. My dad's from Hawaii, and I'm not native Hawaiian. I'm Filipino Japanese. My grandparents are grandma's from the Philippines, grandma from Japan. They migrated to Hawaii just like a lot of other Pacific families did, and they, you know, the melting pot, you know, of the Pacific. They went to Hawaii. So I'm not native Hawaiian. I'm not Kanaka Maoli. That's what native Hawaiians are called. But when you're from Hawaii, or your family's from Hawaii, or you spend time in Hawaii, you know about the connection that the locals have with the land. Kama'aina is from the land, and you know, there's a deep spiritual connection with the Hawaiian people, both, like I said, both native and not native, and people who live there, the locals. There's a deep spiritual connection with the land because the basic ideology is that the land was there before us and took care of our ancestors. The land is here now to provide for us, and it's our job to protect the land so that way it can take care of our future generations. That's the basic ideology. And so whenever like these volcanic eruptions happen and the lava happens, people say, why don't you try to stop it? It's like, listen, this is how this island was created. We have to let it do its thing. And if that means, you know, destroying homes and property and other stuff like that, that so be it. That's just the way it goes, man. Like I said, this land was here before us. We built this island. We built these homes and built these things on this island. So, you know, it's like I said, it's tough, but like I said, and it's really, like I said, the spirituality and the spiritual connection for it is deep. And if you're interested, I suggest you go look it up. Like I said, it's very, very, very interesting and very, very, you know, it's a deep spiritual connection. So check that out. But yeah, thoughts and prayers going to all the people in Big Island. I got big love for you guys up there. So hopefully this can all get resolved soon and safely. And I think and like I said, all the wildlife people and all the the conservationists and all that stuff, they're doing a great job over there, taking care of everything and trying to keep it under control. So like I said, hopefully everyone stays safe out there. And like I said, I'm thinking about you guys. And then moving on quickly for the rest of the stuff is from the world of celebrity entertainment, Hollywood. The big thing from music. So Spotify did this thing where they took down. Okay, so they didn't take down their music completely, but they removed R. Kelly and XXXTentacion's music from like these different curated playlists that they have. Kind of like promoting their music and stuff. In this new thing that Spotify, what they're doing is they're not supporting these people who are who they feel are doing like violent acts or hateful acts, or I think they are. We all know what's going on with R. Kelly and Triple X. X is accused of doing all these different horrible things to his former girlfriend. I think now I haven't really been keeping up with them in a little while. Apparently he beat her up while she was pregnant. It was a horrible stuff. It's out there. Go look for it. I don't want to talk about it here, but like I said, it's out there. Go look it up. It's horrible stuff he did. And then all this stuff with R. Kelly, having these alleged sex rings with all these different or like these sex homes, all these like sex slaves and all this crazy shit going on with R. Kelly, and then eventually, obviously we all know about the stuff, the peeing on girls and teenage girls and all this stuff. We all know about that, and so what they're doing is they're trying to, like I said, they didn't completely remove the music. They're just taking them off these promoted, curated playlists, so that way it's like their way of, listen, it's like we can't completely mute them, but like we're just not going to promote their music. It's still available, but you have to find it and listen to it. We're not going to promote it. Like I said, I completely get this, and I completely support it, 100%. Even though R. Kelly is one of my favorite artists of all time, and I'm not alone in that feeling. There's a lot of people that love R. Kelly. Like I said, I get it and I support it. But when this happened, I knew it was going to spark a conversation basically about a slippery slope. And that's ultimately what happened. Triple X Tentacion's team or whatever, or his people or representatives or whatever, responded to all this. And that's pretty much exactly what they said. They're saying, listen, if you're going to do this to Triple X Tentacion, for stuff that he's alleged of doing. As far as I'm concerned, it's all still allegations so far. Like I said, same with R. Kelly, these are all just allegations. Like I said, there's a lot of evidence supporting it, but at this point, there's all allegations. There's no criminal, no one's gone to jail or anything yet. Well, I know X has gone to jail for stuff in the past, but all this stuff that's happening so far, it's all about allegations. And he says, so if you're gonna do this to Triple X and R. Kelly for stuff that's the stuff that they're not proven of doing yet, and it's all just allegations at this point, then they need to do this to other people and other artists who, are in the same boat or in the same situation. And he went on a long list, and there's a long list, and like I said, there's a long list of artists who are in the same boat. Fabulous, I believe, came out this year, same kind of thing. Nas, I believe, is in the news a little bit for the same kind of thing. And they're saying Michael Jackson, do you take down Michael Jackson's music for all the allegations that what he allegedly did? And like I said, the list goes on and on. There's a lot of stuff, and I knew that this was gonna happen. It's that's great that they're doing this, but like I said, it's a slippery slope for all this stuff, And I've already had this conversation on an older episode. You guys can go find it, and I'll try to maybe find it myself and mention it, later or something. But I had this big conversation with myself, but I had this big talk, about the whole thing of separating the art from the artist. Because subjectively, yes, R. Kelly makes good music. The Boondocks did a great episode talking about this same kind of situation about 10, 15 years ago. Go look for it. It's great. They do the same thing. It's listen, it's R. Kelly can do whatever he wants. It's like R. Kelly can be bad all the time, but it's just as long as he makes good music that everyone can dance to, no one cares. So it's like that, but it's dude, it's hard. It's hard conversation to have, but we need to have it. So like I said, go find that episode. I can't remember which one it is on top of my head. I'll find it for you guys and listen to it. But the whole thing about separating art from the artist is tough. And same thing, X, he makes good music. I can't front. It's good. It's deep. It's harsh. But it's good. You know, but it's tough. It's just tough. He's a shit human being, you know. So, like I said, it's tough. But like I said, it is what it is. Like I said, go back and find that episode. I have a big long convo about. I have a big whole thing about it. So, I know it's tough, but like I said, it's conversations we need to have. But yeah, that's what's happening in music a little bit. You know, and then there's New Music Friday also. New Music Friday. There's new music from Cardi. Go listen to that Cardi album. It's good. Trust me, it's good. John Mayer, the God John Mayer, has a new track with No ID on the production, which is tight. Listen, check that one out. Beach House has a new album coming out too. Listen to Beach House. Ski Master Slump God got his new little mixtape out, and then I think his EP's coming too. He said. A bunch of other great music everywhere. Cool Kid's got a new song coming out. Chromeo's got new music and all that stuff. It's great. It's good. Like I said, New Music Friday. So check all that new music out. And then with Hollywood, Solo, the new Star Wars movie premiered last night. And from the reviews I've seen so far, they're good. And the reviews are good. That the movie's good. They're saying it's fun and all that stuff, which is good. Hopefully, it's what you want to hear, considering it's a bunch of like rebel guys, you know, just getting into trouble and you know they're space pirates essentially. So, what can go wrong with that? And the main thing that everyone's talking about is the relatively unknown guy who's playing Han Solo, who, you know, deservedly so. Not I guess he deservedly so, but it's justified in people being skeptical. Is this guy good, or can this guy capture the charm that Han Solo had? Well, Harrison Ford had as Han Solo, and can he live up to expectations? And apparently, everyone believes so. And the actor Alden Ehrenreich, they all say he nailed the part, and they said it's great. You know, they said he's great. Everyone else is great, and like I said, it's good news. Like I said, I'm a fan of Star Wars. I'm not a big nerd or anything like those guys, but shout out to all the Star Wars nerds. You know, I fuck with all you guys, and I fuck with Star Wars tough. But like I said, I'm not a huge nerd, but I love Star Wars, and like I said, I can't wait to see it. And speaking of new movies, we got 2 new movies announced. New Bad Boys movie coming in 2020. Big up to Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. That's gonna be good to see. It'll be fun to see. Hopefully it's the last one. Bad Boys for Life. Like I said, I think it's at 2020. You know what I mean? Because I'm Mike Lowry. So like I said, hopefully we'll get some more of that. And then a new Jordan Peele movie coming next year. You know, it's gonna be called Us, and it's billed as the new nightmare from the mind of Jordan Peele. So that's gonna be cool. Like I said, everyone said, you know, obviously he had great success with Get Out and all before that Key and Peele and Mad TV and all that stuff. But everyone that's talked about Jordan Peele, like behind the scenes stuff, they're like, listen, he's like a horror movie encyclopedia. He understands horror. He loves horror movies. He gets all that stuff. So, like I said, it sounds like anything Jordan Peele related is gonna be good. So like I said, it looks interesting so far. It sounds interesting. So like I said, the hype is real, and like I said, I'm sure it'll be great. And yeah, I've been going for a while now, and yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna have to start wrapping this thing up, you know. So yeah, like I said, hopefully, you know, I hopefully everything you were interested in all the stuff I was talking about. Like I said, I know it was a lot. Thanks for sticking with me, and you know, like always, thanks for listening. You know, if you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Mainly, like I said, subscribe and share and all that good stuff. You know, on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, wherever, YouTube, wherever you can listen to podcasts, I'm there. You know what I mean? Like I said, if you like what you heard and you think you know someone, like I said, spread the wealth. You know, let them know where they can subscribe. You know what I mean? If you want to, you know, yell at me about some of my takes, you know, you want to, you know, give me some, you know, like I said, just have some healthy conversations, healthy banter about some stuff. Maybe you don't agree with the way I feel about all this Trump shit going on. Maybe you don't agree with the way I feel about all the Spotify with R. Kelly and Triple X stuff going on, or maybe you don't like the way I thought about the playoffs or anything. Like I said, get at me on all the socials: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Look at Brown Mamba Radio. My personal stuff: JXCKSXNNN. You know, and so get at me there. And like always, everything is available on the blog, on the website. Shout out to the blog boys, but it's there, brownmamba.us. Shout out to Squarespace. Shout out to the blog boys. Shout out to you guys for listening. Like I said, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. So yeah, like I said, that's going to be it for me today. Have a fun, safe, responsible weekend. Hopefully you guys are enjoying, or hopefully you guys have fun doing whatever you're doing. I know day 2 or show 2 in LA for the championship tour for Top Dog is tonight at the Forum. Have fun, everyone, going to that. But I will not be there. I will see you fuckers at Ekolu tonight at St. Rock and Hermosa. See you guys there. And like I say, whatever you're doing, like I said, have fun, but please be safe and be responsible. And yeah, so drink more water. Health is wealth. Be kind to each other, please. It's easy to be nice. And of course, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.